just want to make sure that I am live on all of my channels. So let's see, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Hi, everyone. Make sure you come in, like the lives, I guess it's called a live over there too. So I'm on two different screens. I have YouTube and Instagram over here. I have TikTok here. So we're going to be making soap. We came up with the formula, which is olive oil, castor oil, shea butter, palm oil, hemp oil, because it's for eczema prone skin. I am going to just kind of briefly discuss what I'm going to do to make the soap. Then I'm going to turn the camera so you guys can see the actual process of making the soap. So we're going to use turmeric, which is a natural color, to color the soap, and we're going to make the entire soap that. I'm actually going to be making 5 pounds of it, but the recipe that I'm going to attach is going to be for 2 pounds or 2.5 pounds, I think it is. I'm also going to be adding kaolin clay, which I've already measured, and collodion oatmeal to the soap bar. Kaolin clay is good for slip. It gives you a silkier feel on the soap, and it helps anchor the scent to make the scent last a little bit longer. And then I have, this is the kaolin clay. And that's collodion oatmeal. Collodion oatmeal, I wish I could position this better, but this is all I got, guys. But collodion oatmeal is just good for gentle exfoliation. So I already have this measured out. And I am doing it for this, 1 tablespoon per pound of soap. Like I said, I'm doing 5 pounds of soap, but the recipe will be for 2.5 pounds because these are the molds that I'm going to be using. And these molds are for 44 ounces or a little over 2.5 pounds of soap. So I use these whenever I'm doing 2.5 pounds of soap. And I have 2 of them. They come in different colors. So I have pink here. And I also have purple. You need your thermometer to check the temperatures because you always want to make sure that the temperatures are below 120 degrees. So right now my oils are coming in at 120, which is perfect. My lye solution, which is my sodium hydroxide with my distilled water. I use distilled water because it's dead water and I don't want any minerals getting into the soap and changing the outcome of the soap because of extra minerals or vitamins or anything that's been added to the water. So I use distilled water, dead water. That I made a couple of days ago, so that's going to be definitely closer to room temperature, if not cooler. I keep this, just to show you guys, I keep it in a container, in a bag. So it's in a plastic heat-resistant container. You'll notice it's heat-resistant because on the bottom of it, it will have a 5 with a triangle. You're not going to be able to see it here, but heat-resistant containers will have a triangle with a 5 on it. So I keep the lye solution or the lye water in here. We're going to be pouring this into our oils. Once we do that, it is going to go quick. It's going to be a quick process because once you add the lye to the oils, the soap starts real quick. I have my stick blender on ready to go. You can use just a spatula and just kind of stir it, but it's going to take hours. So you use the stick blender to speed it up. With the stick blender, we're going to be done in like 10 minutes, like as far as like mixing the soap. The scent that I'm going to use is Moroccan mint, which I've already measured out and I put in this container. I did it at 4 ounces for the 5 pounds because again, this is 5 pounds of soap. So it's more of like a medium strength that's going to be added to the soap for the scent. But like I say, the recipe that I'll be uploading will be for 2.5 pounds. So without further ado, we're going to get started. Today is Tuesday. Thursday of this week is going to be our last day of the lunchtime lives with Soap Made Simple. I may continue the series. I may not. We'll see. All right. If you guys have any questions along the way, you can put them in the chat. Once I turn the camera, because I am going to turn the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing, I won't be able to see the comments, but after I'm finished making the soap, I will go back to the comments to see if there were questions that I missed. So before I turn the cameras down, I'm going to add the kaolin clay to collodion oatmeal as well as the turmeric to the soap before I add the lye solution. Because like I said, once you add the lye solution, the soap process starts going real quick. And I want to be able to make sure that I fully mix all these things into the oil so there's not little clumps. So I'm going to mix them into the oils beforehand because at least I know that's not going to speed up the soap process. And that's what I typically do with all of my bars of soap. I mix those things prior. The fragrance I'll add at the end once we reach trace. And trace is simply when you know that the soap is ready to pour. So you'll take your stick blender or a spatula, and when you drizzle the soap on top, you'll see little runs or little trails of soap on top, and that lets you know that it's ready to pour. It'll have more like a pudding-like consistency, so it'll kind of feel thick in the container. I'm using a steel pan to make this soap, which is another heat-resistant container, and it's really just because I need a big container because I'm doing 5 pounds of soap. All right, any questions? Showed you guys the mold. If I have extra soap, I'm going to put it in this. This is like one of my favorite molds. This is really good for beginners. So it already comes in 4-ounce cavities. So it's easier. You don't have to cut the soap. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera so you guys can see, and we're going to get started making this soap. All right, so let me get you guys down. Perfect. Hello, Taraya, and hello, Dale. I hope I said that right, Dale. If I did say it right, that's an interesting spelling for it. I like that. All right, so I'm going to get that. So I'm going to turn you guys down too. You guys aren't going to have like the best, clearest view, but I'm going to try my best, guys, so you can see. All right, so those are the oils. Oils are here. All right, so we're going to start with the kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal. Like I said that we would. We're going to pour this in. That was the kaolin clay. That was already pre-measured out. This is the colloidal oatmeal, that gentle exfoliation, and then the slip. You see how chunky that is? We want to definitely break that up. Okay, so we're going to use the stick blender. The stick blender does get loud, guys, but that's just the nature of it. All right, and we're just going to stick blend until we don't really see any clumps. And when you stick blend on 5 to 10 second bursts. Simply because you don't want to burn out your stick blender, but once you add the lye solution, you don't want to over stick blend, and then it destroys, or not destroys, but it makes the soap too thick. All right, so let's do this. I'm trying to look to see if I see any clumps because I want to make sure I get them all out. I think that's looking pretty good. You see how the color lightened up a little bit? That's what kaolin clay does. It makes it a little bit lighter too. But we're adding it in for slip and to make that scent last longer once we add it to the soap. All right, so when we add our lye solution, let me show you how this looks, guys. Oh, it looks like I forgot my strainer. Oh, I probably have one right here. Hold on, let me get my strainer. Okay, right here. I got a dishwasher here, y'all. Okay, so I got my strainer. I always pour my lye solution through a strainer simply because sometimes there's undissolved lye bits, and I want to make sure that I get any undissolved lye bits, prevent them from going into the soap, because if they do go into the soap, they'll cause irritation to the skin. Thanks for liking the live, Blue Moon. So I'm going to pour it through here. So let me show you guys how the lye solution is looking though. This is the lye solution. So it's pretty clear because I've already mixed it. But as you can see, there's some, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see some little pieces of undissolved lye bits. So this is perfect. This is why I use the strainer. I always pH test the soap afterwards to make sure that it's not lye heavy, because lye heavy will cause irritation. But this is just a second measure that I take to make sure that I don't get any undissolved lye bits in there. So when I pour it, I kind of pour it over the stick blender just to kind of break the fall a little bit, kind of slow down how fast it's going in there, because if it goes in there too fast, it causes bubbles. and bubbles create holes in the finished product. Now, bubbles are sort of inevitable. We are going to get bubbles, and the goal is just to stick blend them or bang them out at the end, which I'll show you guys what I mean when I say bang it out at the end. But we just want to prevent them as much as possible. Now, you can't really see it, and this container is not even clear, but normally, I think I do have a video on Facebook about it, but oils and butters usually will sit at the top, and it'll be more of a lighter liquid at the bottom. That's because there's a separation between the water, the oils, and the butters. But when I start to mix this, it's not going to be separated anymore. It's going to come together, and you'll see that the color of this soap will change. So it's now like a light, kind of like oily looking tan color. But let's stick blend it and watch magic happens. I don't know if you guys saw the color change, but there was a color change because now everything is in like one cohesive unit because everything's all blended together. And we know that because it's more of like a pudding consistency. Like when you guys probably can't see that, but you see how it bounces back all together like that? That's when we know that we've reached at least emulsification. Emulsification just means that everything has properly blended together. If you want to go until you get trace, because right now we don't have trace, and if we had trace, we would know it, because when I go like this and I swing the stick blender over there, over the container, you would see trails of soap that are sitting on top, and we don't see that, so we know we haven't reached trace. I am going to keep going so I can reach trace so you guys can see that, and then we'll pour our scent in. Getting a little thicker. Not exactly there yet. But this is 5 pounds of soap. This is a lot, and it's mainly olive oil. All right, we're starting to get the trace. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if I can make it slightly thicker so it's easier to see. I don't know, you guys probably can't see that. It's a very, very light trace. To get too thick, but it has reached a light trace. You'll see all these bubbles in here. We're gonna bang those out because we don't want holes in our soap. Okay, so let me just get this extra soap off. See, can you guys even see that? Probably not. All right, so let me just take this spatula. I like to get all of my soap off. I use like silicone everything, like the mat, this black mat down. Oh, you guys can't even see it on YouTube, but it's a silicone mat. TikTok, you guys can see it. I also have like this little silicone container or a little mat that I sit things on. Silicone's easier to clean. I also have napkins nearby. You should always have napkins nearby. All right, so we're going to add our fragrance. And when I add my fragrance, I always stir it with a spatula. I don't use a stick blender because I don't want to further push trace and get too thick of soap. So I'm just going to pour this. Make sure I get all this out. And then I'm going to stir this for about 30 seconds because I want to make sure that it is all mixed in. Depending on the fragrance or essential oil you use, it will loosen your batter. So if you did have like a thick batter, it will loosen it. And when you get a looser trace or a looser batch, you can swirl more. Swirling doesn't really matter for us because this is just going to be one solid color. Which reminds me that I did not even add the color in, guys. So guess what? We are going to have to stick blend a little bit more because I have to add the color in. We're adding in turmeric. I get it from Brambleberry. You can't really see the name of it anymore because I've used it so much and refilled it. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of this. This is a tablespoon of this turmeric. Normally what I would put in is a half a tablespoon per pound of soap. So seeing that I have 5 pounds, I'm doing it as if I have 4 pounds, just so it's a lighter color. I try not to put too much color in because it will bleed onto your washcloth, and I don't really like that. So you probably don't like that either. All right, so we're going to mix this in because we don't want clumps of color. Now, you should definitely be able to see that trace now. All right, because it is getting real thick, but I want to make sure I get as many of those chunks out. We are going to pour this. This is thick like mashed potatoes, like you know. This is definitely ready to pour for sure. And then maybe you guys can see it now because this is a much thicker trace. You can see the soap that sits on top. And it's thick. It's thick like pudding. So you know that you are ready to pour. All right, so let me take that off. And with that, and then let me just get my napkin so I can wipe my hands. And then we are going to pour this. Look at how chunky and smooth it looks. All right. Always have napkins nearby because you're going to need them. All right, so these are our silicone molds. So I'm going to just pour these in each of these. Let's see, can you guys see? All right, you guys can see. You guys, of course, can see. No. Wait, can I do it that way? No, it's probably better to do it this way. All right, so let's just pour this in. It's getting thick. And pour in the other one. And it's getting hot. Oh my gosh. Now soap will heat up in the mold. And that's because it has to heat up to go through saponification. And saponification is just really the completion. Sorry, that's what I mean when I say bang it out. I gotta like bang it on the counter to make sure I don't have any bubbles, because bubbles will become holes in the soap. And when you have a thick batter like this, you're more likely to get the holes. So to avoid that, I have like a lot left over. I like to fill mine to the rim all the way to the top so you get like as much as possible. You know, some people don't do that because it can get a little messy, but I really like to do that. All right, so I'm going to bang this on the other side because every time I bang, it makes the camera move. So I'm going to take this. But when I'm banging, I'm just going to be banging it like that on the table. So I'm going to do that over here. All right. Now let me take this one. See, you guys can see that, right? All right. And then you can texture the tops however you want. I like to texture my tops with a fork. I have no idea why I'm obsessed with forks, but I am. That's just like my thing. And let me see if I have my little, I have like this little old thermometer that I use to help me with texturing the top. Let me see if it's in here. Got my gloves. This is stuff that I'm gonna have to wash. Oh, let's see. I'm not seeing it. I do have extra soap, so I am gonna put that in the little pink silicone. It is a little cute. I am gonna put it in the little pink silicone mold. Let's see where my thing is. But I do see a pick. A pick will work. You also have these, which you know you typically use with cake. You could use these to smooth the top, but I'm not gonna do that because it's okay. But it's not smooth. All right. Where's the fork now? Oh. All right. So this is how I texture. And when it's thicker, you can see more of the texture. That's why you guys can like really see the fork. And then I'll do the middle with the pick to just kind of smooth it out. It's very thick. I just do this like a little swirl thing to the top to kind of smooth it out. And then, let's see, I'm trying to push this in here. Oh, like I made it worse. But then you spray it with isopropyl alcohol only when you're done texturing the top. And the reason why you spray it with isopropyl alcohol, 91%, 99% is best, but it's a little more on the pricier side. 91% is more easily accessible. You spray it on the top, and it's because if you don't, while it's going through saponification, so the saponification process is the soap is heating up because the lye and the oils and butters and waters are all mixing together, and the lye is going to come out of the soap. When it comes out of the soap, it's going to meet carbon dioxide, which is the oxygen in the air. When it meets that, it's going to create this ashy looking like a white layer on top. It is not harmful. It's just aesthetically not pleasing. So, and it's just simply dead lye. It's not harmful at all to you. Even if you get a soap bar with soda ash on the top, it's not harmful at all. And after one wash, it's gone anyways. But I don't like ashy skin, so I don't like ashy soap. So I try my best to prevent it. So in order to do that, you just spray with at least 91% alcohol, and you spray liberally. You want to make sure you put a lot of it on there. And normally what I'll do is after I spray, I will come back in an hour and spray again. You can also cover the soap, but it's hard for me to cover my soap bars because I fill the mold up so high. So I normally don't really cover them. So I'm going to put these to the side because I do have extra soap batter that I have to put in here. And it's a lot thicker now, but that's okay. You guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. So I'm just going to be like dumping this in. It's a lot of extra soap actually. So these bars here, I turn some of them into sample bars, and then some of them I use because I use every soap bar that I make so I can experience what you're experiencing. We can experience together. So this is good. So I'll have a lot of samples because I include a sample in all the orders. So what I do is I'll take this soap bar, because this is a 4-ounce soap bar. When it's filled up, I will take it and cut it into 2 or 3 pieces. Depends on how my cutter's acting and how hard the bar is, because sometimes I wait too late to cut these. If it's too late, then cut it into 2. but the preference is to cut it into 3. And then I give them away. I give them away as samples at markets, and then when you place an order online, I give them away with each order. So I am gonna bang this after I get all this out because I know that this is really thick, and I want to make sure that there are no bubbles. Like you see that little, I don't know if you guys can see that little bubble. That's going to become a hole in the soap. So I definitely will have to bang that out to make sure. And like I said, that's just hitting the mold with the table, on the table, to make sure everything is all straight and no bubbles are in there. And sorry guys, but I like to get every little bit of soap. Like, I am the type to scrape the container clean. It makes it easier to clean afterwards too, when you have less soap left in there. So I'm almost done though. Then I'll be able to turn the camera so you guys can see me, and then I can see if I missed any questions along the way. I do a private live soap making class. So I think it shows on my TikTok, but maybe not on my other ones. If you go to the website and you purchase it and you put in the code LIVE5, you will get $5 off. It's the same price that you would pay for a soap making course, except you get to do it live with me, not live in a public setting like this. It is private live. And you get to ask me questions. We're going to make the soap together. So I get to see what you're doing. You get to see what I'm doing. And just gives you a better experience and just an easier way to learn how to make soap. I also have a free soap making course. So don't pay for those courses. Sometimes some people just take my free soap making course and that's sufficient. They don't have to do a private live class with me. And that course is listed on my links. I think it may be like the second or third link. And it's a full comprehensive soap making course. You sign up for it for free. Literally everything about it is free. They're like 2 to 3 minute videos breaking up each section. So if there's something that you have questions about, you can go directly to that one instead of watching all of it. At the end, there is a survey. I do ask that you complete that survey. That survey helps me make the course better. I do read each and every survey. There's been a lot. I read them all, and I use it to make the course better. So I do appreciate it. You know, if I'm offering it to you for free, the least you can do is tell me where I messed up. People like to tell people negative stuff. Tell me where I messed up so I can fix it. Because if you have any questions afterwards, I do want to make sure that they are answered. And if you have that question, then it's possible that someone else has that question. So do the survey so I know and I could make those corrections, you know, or add whatever it is that should have been added. Because I've been making soap since 2018. So some things just come, you know, it's just second nature to me. So I may have not included something that I was just like, oh, that's common knowledge because I didn't really think much of it. But, you know, when you're new to soap making, everything is new. So it's not, nothing's common for you. So I'm trying to get all these bubbles out. I think I'm actually going to use this to kind of make the tops a little flatter. It's just really thick, so some of this is just kind of inevitable. I'm trying to get rid of these little holes though. Because these tops are not really that flat, I am going to make a little design so it look like I meant for it to be like that. You know, this is how you get creative with soap. It's really fun and it's better for your skin than those commercial bars that are in the stores. Those commercial bars are not even soap. That's the reason why most of them will say beauty bars, because legally, according to FDA standards, they cannot call themselves soap, or they cannot call the items that they are putting on the market soap, because soap is simply oils, butter, and caustic, which in this case is sodium hydroxide. So almost done here. I'm going to spray this with alcohol. Oh, forgot one. These came out really nice. I like the turmeric, always gives a really nice orange color. It doesn't really overdo it. And turmeric is such a good ingredient to add because it really does help with skin brightening and even skin tone and hyperpigmentation. It's a really good, super nice ingredient to add. And it's so accessible. You can get this from your local grocery store because you can cook with it. We cook with it. We use it in our soap. We eat it. We drink it. It's great. Can't go wrong with turmeric. I'll spray this liberally. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. Yeah. Let me take these gloves off. Then I'm going to turn the cameras up so you guys can see me and I can check for questions. All right. Are you making more soap? Yes. Well, no. I mean, like, I'm making more soap right now, but I'm not making soap later on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm right here. Let me scroll back through. See what questions. Say hello. What are you making, Serenity? I am making soap. I just made soap using the cold process method. Saw molds for candles in the shape of Crocs. Oh, really? I haven't seen that. Crocs? Like the shoe Crocs? If you got a store, there you go. If you got a store. I have an online store, if that's what you mean. I think I have the same mixing wand. Yeah, well, so it's a toothpick. Because normally I have like an actual like wand thing that I use, but I couldn't find it, so it's a toothpick. Catching you live off to the store. To the store? What store? Why is everybody talking about a store? Am I missing a store? Okay. It gets hot. I once burned my hand through the gloves. Really? Welcome to Divaville. I love that. Welcome. Um, yeah, I've never burned through the gloves, but I got burned on my skin. It hasn't been like too bad because my last solutions are always very cool. But do you cover your moles, Logan? No, I don't. You can. I recommend you do it, but I don't simply because when I mix my soap, I'm going to the supermarket. Oh, okay. Have fun at the supermarket. Because somebody over here was talking about a store too. So I was like, what store are we talking? Like, what am I missing? Um, I don't cover them because I do. They're so. You see how you can see the soap over the mold. I put so much in it that if I were to cover it, because the covers that come with this are flat, it would flatten my design and mess it up. So I don't cover it simply because the soap is too high. I put too much soap in it. I do it on purpose. You're not really supposed to put this much soap, but I want to make sure the bars are as tall as possible. So I definitely overdo it. What I used to do though, when I first started, because I've always been overdoing it, I would take this wooden part of a soap mold that I'm not using and I would put that on top. And now that works because obviously it's like double the size and it doesn't affect my top at all. But I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm just going to spray a lot of alcohol on it to make sure that it doesn't get the soda ash. Hey, we're scrolling on live streams and seeing in everyone. Oh, saying hi to everyone. Hi, X Siri. Sorry if I said it wrong, but hello. Thank you for scrolling in. Hi, Black Hawk. I was the soap queen. I don't know about that, but I'm doing good. So you missed it. I just made 5 pounds of soap. So I'll show you. I made a turmeric. I don't want to tilt it too much because the soap's not all the way set up and I don't want it falling out, but it's just the entire color is turmeric. I did 5 pounds of that. So that's what I do. Okay. So the alcohol or using the wooden part to cover it. Both of them are good. I used to do them both. Do the wooden part, like do the little wooden mold to cover the top, and I would spray it with isopropyl alcohol. Then I have some over here, which I can't move those. They're in like the individual cavities, but I have those. Yeah, then I have like all this stuff to clean. So what has happened to me, see how I got soap on my skin? That has happened before. And this is irritating. It doesn't burn, but it is irritating. So I wipe that off. If it starts to irritate me too much, then I just wash my arm because there is active lye still in that the soap batter. Both good job, Logan. That's perfect. Yeah, it's good to do both. Take as many precautions as you can to avoid that soda ash so we get rid of all that ashiness. Live visibility restricted because it's off the platform. I didn't even do that. See, TikTok is always doing too much. Did I tell anybody to leave TikTok? No, I didn't. But that's what they're saying that I'm doing. You guys make sure if you're on TikTok, you stay on TikTok so TikTok doesn't get upset with me for telling you to go somewhere that I didn't tell you to go. Okay. So what I've been doing is it's called Soap Made Simple series, and it's been for the entire month of August. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I have been coming on. Thank you, Javon. How are you? You have a beautiful smile too, in your beautiful country. I love Trinidad and Tobago. I love it, and you get to live there. That's amazing. But every Tuesday and Thursday at noon, I've been doing this. I love the flags. So Thursday is going to be the last day of this series. I think I am going to continue it not as a live, but as just videos on YT, just because that's easier for me. Thank you for the gifts and the likes. So I think I am going to continue to do it, but just as videos instead of actual lives, because sometimes it's a little difficult to get on and do this. But that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. So what I will do is after this live is over, I am going to upload the recipe. So you can access the recipe. You can make this soap at home if you like. Most of the materials, like the scents and everything, I get from Brambleberry. But I do have a shopping list that's on my links. I'm off on Thursday, so I'll be there. I need to get back into soap making. You should, because you be skating all over the place, but you should get back into soap making. And make sure if you haven't already joined my free course, join my free course, because I mean, like, it's free. I thought you were Trini. Listen, Logan, I wish. So my husband is from Trinidad and Tobago. So I think that I am Trini, but I'm not. I've been there a few times. We try to go every spring break for the kids because he likes to take them back there to meet his family. So I think I'm Trini, but I'm not. But since I do want to like identify with something other than like being American, I do have a grandfather that's from the Bahamas. So I feel like there's some Bahamian somewhere or some Haitian somewhere. I didn't really meet him. Or I did meet him, but I was very young, so I don't really remember. But maybe there is some Trini blood. Don't worry, you have your Trini card locked. Thank you. Yes. Trying to keep it on lock. Yes. So I think I'm going to do like one of those ancestry.com things to see what exactly I trace back to, just because I just be really curious to know. It could be interesting. So I am going to do that. And if I do have some Trini blood, I'm going to let all my Trini people know that I am one of you, but I am truly Trini and not just posing. So anyways, these series will continue on on YT as videos. If you guys do have any questions about soap making, my Soap Made Simple uploads, I'm probably going to keep those up maybe to like the end of the first week of September. So if you haven't downloaded those things, you'll have the opportunity to continue to download those. I'm going to add the recipe after this live is over so you can make this soap at home if you so choose. I do have a supply list on all of my links. So like YT, you have to go to my profile and click on the links underneath my picture or underneath my bio, I believe. And IG and TikTok, you just click, I think the link in my bio. Yeah, it's probably easier to get to it there. But I have shopping supply lists with Amazon and Walmart should you want to order online. Hi, daddy, daughter. How are you? Hope everything's going well with baby. I'm so excited for you. I'm like, I don't even know her that well, but I'm so excited for this baby. I love babies. I have 3 of them. I mean, the youngest is 3, so she's technically not a baby, but in my head, she's a baby. So I really like babies. But yes, so most of these things can be found at your local stores, but if you did want to order them, then you can look at the supply list. A few more weeks left. Yes, congratulations. I know it's like it gets tough towards the end of that last trimester, but listen, when you get that baby, it's all worth it. Well, that's good. Thank you guys for liking the live, the like. My youngest is 7. He's still my baby. He'll They'll always be our babies. Yes, yes. Let me tell you guys a funny story of what happened. I'm always on YT, like that's my thing. I try to get down with TikTok, but they don't be acting right. So I'm always on YT, like just scrolling. That's like my social media of choice. And I saw this video of this little boy. I can't remember what he was doing, but it was something funny. And so I comment and I said, "Oh, the baby is so adorable." And people attacked me under the comments. They were like, he's not a baby. That child is almost 10 years old. Why would you call him a baby? That's still disrespectful to his family. Because I think he has like one of those rare diseases. Yeah, that's what it was. I think his name is Tay. And he has one of those rare diseases where he's in a wheelchair and he's very little. I knew the boy was like 10. I knew that because I've been following his family. So I knew that. But I refer to kids as babies. I used to represent like 16, 17-year-olds and I would call them babies. Like they just, I don't know. I call them babies. But people were attacking me saying I was disrespectful to the family for referring to this little boy as a baby. And I was like, y'all have to like really chill out. I didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. I didn't actually mean that he was a baby. Clearly, he's not a baby. He's talking like he's bigger. He's not a baby. But I was just like, the baby was adorable because usually when I refer to a child as adorable, I refer to them as a baby because I don't know, those words just go better to me. But thank you, Javon, for clarifying that they'll always be our babies because some people on YT don't know that. So that's a good note for them. But I hope you guys truly have like really enjoyed these lunchtime series lives. It has been really a joy to do them. I like getting on live and chatting with y'all and get to know you guys more. So it's been great. It's been fun. I need to figure out. I think the graphics are looking pretty good today for YT and Instagram. Maybe it's because of the room that I'm in, but normally it doesn't look that good. So I was like, I got to figure out this before I go live again because I don't want the graphics to look so bad. But it's been looking pretty good. It looks pretty good today. So if you guys want to get in on the live class, the live private class that I'm doing on August 31st, you can. You just go to my website, put in the code LIVE5, so LIVE5. You'll get $5 off, and we'll be able to make our soap in a very close-knit, sort of like, it's going to be over Google Meets, but more of a close-knit environment where we can make it together. And if you have questions, you can ask me as we, make the soap. And you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I'll be able to see what you're doing so we can troubleshoot together if there are any issues. But there really shouldn't be because you guys are already going to be a pro because you're going to be making soap with the pro. So it's going to be fine. Do thank you guys for 1.5 likes. Let me tell y'all came in liking because for a minute it was like at 0. So thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for coming in, for checking me out. Make sure you guys chills on YT because, like I said, that's my social media of choice. So I would prefer to have a little more engagement over there, guys. So definitely go check it out if you're not already following me over there. Check me out over there. Also, before you guys leave, I am going to be coming up with a comedy series for soap making. I haven't seen that done. And the thing is that I'm not really that funny, but I'm going to act like I'm that funny because I like to laugh. And so I feel like if I like to laugh, then maybe other people like to laugh too. And we could find some humor in this soap making. So I am going to be starting that. I've already like written my scripts. Well, me and ChatGPT been writing scripts. We've been writing together. So I'm hoping to start record because I haven't even started recording them. But I'm excited about. I'm so excited about these videos that I haven't even recorded. I did do one. If you're on YT, you probably could find it. I did do one, but I'm going to be expounding on those characters and soap making, so it'll be fun. But yeah, so y'all stay tuned for that because my goal is to get it released in September, but life be lifing, so we'll see. See what happens with that. But it's definitely coming out soon because I'm very excited to do it. So thank you guys for 1.5 likes. Thank you for coming in, for sharing, for watching, for your questions, for your comments. Thank you.